Hi, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another ramble. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are enjoying this beautiful day and this beautiful life. Um, Before I get started, let us cleanse the energy. Yeah, and in other videos, I say there's a video I made where a friend of mine was going through some really heavy things, and she said she went to see a healer and she felt so much better after seeing this healer. But honestly, and I told her as well, this is just because you go and see a healer doesn't mean that everything's gone. It's something that you need to maintain and upkeep. So you need to constantly cleanse your energy. You need to constantly cleanse your space. You need to be very mindful of the thoughts that you keep, the emotions that you are feeling, things you are consuming in general. This needs to be a daily practice. It's just not like a one off thing, like, okay, I went to see a healer. Wow, I feel great. Yeah, no, this is something that needs to be maintained regularly, like breathing, like eating, like sleeping. Yeah, so it's not a one off thing. It's like a daily ritual that you must maintain, you know? But this video is going to touch on the mind. I might have made a video on this. I think I like to revisit topics because sometimes you acquire like different angles when you talk about it. But I've noted that when I go out in the world, like a lot of people have very frantic and very imbalanced minds. Let me elaborate. Like for me, personally, and I've said this in another video, I literally recognize the function of the mind. Like it's there to consume information and data and to kind of I don't know, if you ask me, the mind is a dictator. You know, the mind is a dictator, and that's why they say listen to your heart, because your heart is it's a very quiet and subtle voice. It doesn't yell, it doesn't scream for your attention, it doesn't demand anything of you. It's like gently guiding you back to yourself if you're listening to it. But if you are predominantly listening to your mind, that is, I want to say, a major dictator. Think about it. Think about like the thoughts that your mind like entertains. Like have you tried sitting with yourself in stillness, and have you tried listening to what your mind is saying? And it has a tendency to get stuck in loops. Like it keeps you stuck perpetually in cycles. Yeah, and that's why, even though I know the mind is there for a reason, it is a tool in the toolbox. I don't let it dictate the way I live my life moment to moment. In fact, I have a tendency to just take the mind, put it aside, and call upon it as needed. I'm not like telling it to tell me, like, yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, the reason, how do I say this? So, a lot of the confusion that you're experiencing, a lot of the, I want to say, discontent you are experiencing is probably sourced from the mind. Think about it. And that's why, like, socially, they've had you, I want to say, exonerating the mind, putting the mind at the forefront, putting the mind, making the mind the priority, like making you believe that, if you are smart, you are, I want to say, more superior than your fellow human beings. You see how there's just like a comparison and competition and superiority complex? It's an absolute dictator. So that's why you need to learn how to recognize that and to put it in its place. it's kind of like a bully. you know, you know how bullies are like super like they have superiority complex, and they're they're super insecure, and they're trying to make you feel inferior to them so they can feel powerful. I feel like the mind has taken the seat, and it is our time to put the mind in the back seat and be the drivers. Let our heart drive the way we live life. I know that sounds kind of silly, but it really isn't. It really isn't. Your heart knows the way. But what was I going to say about that? Yeah, I've been just if you go out in the world, like even if you just start with yourself first and foremost. And this requires stillness. This requires silence. This requires sitting with yourself. A lot of people find this very uncomfortable, sometimes more uncomfortable than actually making changes in the world, in the 3D reality, Like they say, like change is difficult because it's uncomfortable. It's easier to stay in your comfort zone, right? And the same goes with yourself. So if you sit with yourself and you sit in silence and you hear yourself very clearly, this is a very uncomfortable process, because you'll be forced to look at not only the lighter aspects of yourself, but also the aspects of yourself. And things in the shadow don't want to be seen. But that's the thing, like, and this goes into confrontation. Like, a lot of people have labeled confrontation as a predominantly negative thing, but honestly, you need to confront things. If you don't confront them, how will you, like, move through it? You know what I mean? So, like, for me, like, I personally, I don't know, it's kind of like I've trained myself to be excited when I need to face something uncomfortable. Like, a lot of people, like, I want to say, have reinforced dread or fear when it comes to confronting things. But for me personally, I will notice the fear, I will notice the discomfort, but my curiosity and my drive to push forward through obstacles is my driving force. That overrides any fear or any discomfort, you know? So, yeah, if you can retrain yourself, retrain your brain to take these orders from you, you get to regulate, like, the way you live your life, not your mind. And if you think about it, your mind has been heavily influenced socially. I want to say through the educational system, through your family, through um, just dude, everything in the external world. Your mind has absolutely been influenced, and it's kind of like distracting you from being you. It's just like, oh, I need to follow this trend so that I can feel like I belong. Oh, I need to do this thing so I can feel accepted. Oh, I need to, you know what I mean? Freak that. The people who love you will love you, and the people who don't love you, mm, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of don't care. It's like you either like me or you don't like me, and it's not personal. And moving it along, you know. Um, what else was I going to say about that? Um, I got distracted. By the way, I'm so sorry. So my thoughts are kind of like I'm trying to refocus. But yeah, I've been watching people, and oh my God, talk about misuse of imagination. They will literally turn a mole into a mountain into a molehill. Is that the saying? I don't know. Something like that. Like, very reactive too, very reactive to everything that's going on around them. You have to train yourself to just be at peace and at ease, and to not let anyone else take you off of that center point within yourself. You know what I mean? You have to train yourself to just be non reactive. Honestly, you're not like dismissing things. You're absolutely seeing things as they present themselves, but then you're also acknowledging your right as a sovereign being to make the choice to interact or to not interact with whatever's presenting itself to you in the moment. A lot of times I tell people I unsubscribe. Good example. I went to work the other day. In fact, I have so many examples. I went to work the other day and my coworker was having a meltdown about, I don't know, about the economic state of things. And she was like, just like losing her shit and telling me all this information. And I just kind of stood idly by, just like this. And I watched her do this, and I watched her mind take her on a frantic ride of chaos. And after she stopped talking, I looked at her and she's like, "You didn't hear about that?" I'm like, "No." I said, "I don't watch television. I don't watch news." And she's like, like she was like, Well, that it's a real thing. It's happening." And I'm like, "It's real if you believe it's real." And I unsubscribe. Simple. I just did that. And then it kind of like took her aback because she expected me to either get on the ride with her or she expected me to, I don't know, get defensive, and I didn't. And that's the thing. Like, if you are in a constant state of calmness and peace, and you don't let your mind take you for a ride, and you don't misuse your imagination, and you're not like engaging in like thoughts of frenzy and fanatical ideas that just throw you off kilter, then seriously, yeah, it's like it's not that I didn't care. I absolutely like was very interested in her perspective and her point of view because it allowed me to see where she was at on a mental scale. But then as far as participating or not participating, I just calmly chose not to participate and I made that known. Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do? Yeah, this is just one of many things. Just yesterday, this coworker and another coworker were losing their shit over, I guess, a customer that came in the other day, and I guess the customer that came in had like a unruly child that was screaming and throwing tantrums, and kid was screaming for like half an hour in the store, and I guess because that happened, they decided to maintain that storyline in their brain. I mean, come on, guys. Every day is different. It's not going to be on repeat unless you want it to be. But anyways, yeah, they were like um over fanaticizing a possible future encounter with this kid. And they were like really like, I don't know. To me, it was a misuse of imagination, and also they were kind of like mentally feeding into disaster before it even happened, if that even makes sense. Yeah, and they were just, I don't know. I just kind of stood idly by and watched them do this. Like, their minds do that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, who's this kid? I want to see this kid. So I'm aware, So if this kid does come into the store, I'm aware. And be careful what you ask for because the kid actually, like, visually appeared in the reality, and I got to see the kid. And I even told him, I wonder how I would have responded if the kid was in the store. I'm like, did you like approach the kid, ask the kid if he was okay? Like, and they're like, no, we just want, he was just screaming. And I'm, oh, okay, okay. So, anyways, be careful what you ask for, guys, because that kid came into the store while I was working. And dude had a totally different experience. Yeah, the kid was not screaming. In fact, I actually had a conversation with the kids. I had a conversation with the kids' mom. They turned out to be Russian. And yeah, I'm not like fluent in Russian, but just to create that common like bond, I was just like, oh, привет and до свидания, and you know what I mean. And yeah, like the kid screamed for like 20 seconds, and then the mom corrected him immediately. Yeah, and then they walked out. Not a big deal. So yeah, I'm telling you, the mind will create a lot of chaos that doesn't exist, and it will also loop things. It will get you like hooked and subscribed to situations that are pretty like ridiculous. And that's why like I don't really spend a lot of time in mine. I spend a lot of time in the present moment. Um, I'm absolutely present, absolutely aware, absolutely like accepting of whatever presents itself to me. But whether I choose to participate and um, feed into storylines is completely different. Like if I think it's absolutely ludicrous, I will literally just like look at it and then decide not to engage or give it any more of my energy. Now, if it's something that I think is in alignment with the reality I want to create, then I will give it more of my energy and attention. Simple as that. You have that power as a sovereign being, but you don't know you're sovereign. You forgot you were sovereign. You forgot to be yourself because the world told you who you should be, and you've been following that manuscript. Unsubscribe. No, thank you. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, and if I have like an upsets customer, I will literally like just do this. Like I won't be mad. I won't be averse. But I also won't be accepting. I'll be very neutral. I'll have a very neutral, unmovable, unshakable presence, and I would just like create a container for that thing to reside in, and I will disengage. Yeah, that really makes people pissed, man. They want to bring you down to their low vibrational level. No, thank you. Unsubscribe. And that's how you take your power back. Anyways, yeah, just some food for thought. The mind creates a lot of chaos. It is a dictator. It wants to keep you stuck and in place. Your heart is the opposite. It wants to free you. It wants to unbind you. It wants to align you with things that bring you more peace, more happiness, more joy, more alignment. Your heart wants to, yeah, it wants to liberate you, man. It wants you to reside on the higher vibrational frequencies and wavelengths, and it wants you to be more aware of who you are. It wants you to be self aware, you know, and not stuck in all this like nonsense that the world wants to force feed you. Anyways, yes, thank you for stopping by. I'm going to make another video after this because I feel compelled to. It's about destiny swapping. If you're interested, come on by. Blessings to one and all. Amen.